day, people. Good day. Make sure you take the dog upstairs. I know we always give people time to come in the room. We don't love it. I mean, we live, but when you start recording it. Hi guys. We always ask that you announce yourself when you come in so we can say hi to you. What's today? Today you 17. Come on in. Noise music down just a little bit. I do want to say, excuse me. I want to say thank you everybody for the birthday wishes for our host Jedediah, Jetty, J Books.
Hi everybody.
Hey. Come on a little bit. A little closer today. Got a little device because people kept saying they couldn't hear us, so we tried to bring the phone closer. Gives it a little different look though. It's fine. But again, thank you guys for his birthday wishes. We want to apologize that we weren't able to go live this past weekend. Took him up to the mountains for his birthday, and the reception was horrible. Thought we were going to be able to go live, but we couldn't get a consistency in reception. So instead of you guys having to say we can't hear you, this, that, and the third, we opted to wait till we got back home. I hope we get some visitors today. It's a little different when you're going on a weekday. No, but I already told you. That's right. Sorry, trying to get Jetty in. There we go. Judgment, judgment, judgment. We're talking about judgment today. I was a little apprehensive on this topic today because as much as I can talk about judgment when in a conversation, I really didn't know what angle to come from, what to say. All right, Jay, we don't have no visitors today, so as of right now anyway, it might be a short line. Oh, and we didn't text everybody like we usually do. I get tag people though. You ready? I'm gonna send it out real quick.
Did you make like a thing?
I did, but it's on there already. Go on the online. I mean, go on the page. Hi guys, I'm sorry. It just don't have the picture behind it. I don't like where this video is starting. It's like blank space and air. Alright, we do gotta get started. What did you just do?
I'm sharing his message.
Listen, I thought you was going to have to. These headphones have like the buzz in my ear.
Did you hear me?
I was trying to do a copy of this and I didn't do it. Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Okay. Just do this too.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Love's Compassion Ministries followers, Facebook friends and family. I'm your host, Tashara. And here's your miniature host,
Jedediah.
Can't be distracted, buddy.
Right.
Today we're coming to you to discuss the topic of judgment. But I would also like to thank everybody who wished the little guy happy birthday. He had 12 years old this weekend, and we were unable to record last Sunday or either last weekend. We didn't come to you guys because it was Resurrection Sunday / Easter. So due to knowing that people had plans, probably wouldn't be sitting down on devices and such, we gave respect to the holiday and we sat it out. This weekend we didn't get to come to you because we went away to celebrate his birthday and the reception was poor. So we didn't want to run the risk of having a poor quality live. So we opted to record today.
Correct.
So I picked him up a little earlier from school so we can step in and knock out this topic. Jedediah picked our topic today.
Yes, I did. And our topic of the day is judgment, or of the night, the evening.
So Jay, start us off. What are we talking about? I know we're talking about judgment, but what are we talking about?
Well, certain topics I like to start off with the definition. Well, there's many definitions of judgment, but what I have written. Judgment is the process of forming an opinion by discerning or comparing, or the process of forming an opinion.
Judgment is the process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. The process of forming an opinion by discerning or comparing. You wrote that twice?
Seems I did.
Judgment is critical. Continue.
Judgment can be critical.
Copy.
I don't know why I'm like this.
Good.
But the biblical definition and of Matthew chapter 7, the NIV version, says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged."
I like that.
I believe judgment is human nature, and that it's only God's job to judge. Not saying I don't judge, because, like I said, it's human nature, so even if you think you don't do, even if you say you don't do that, you do. There's a phrase that says, "No one can judge me, only God can judge me."
All right, stand down for a second, because I don't want you to just come off as reading straight from what you had. Now, as you stated, it's human nature to judge. Some of us don't even know when we're judging, right? There's actually a television show I came across one night. It's like a game show. It's different celebrities. Tiffany Haddish is one of the hosts. And what they do is they present questions to randoms on the street. And the randoms answer the questions. Hey, mom, the randoms answer the questions. And then they come back into the studio and they ask the different contestants to say who they thought gave said answer. So you might have a Hispanic person or a Caucasian person or someone who's dressed real crazy looking kind of thing. Crazy looking sounds judgment. Look at me. I'm judging just in my words. And based on just what they see with the interaction with the person and how the person appears, that's how they make the judgment of who they thought said what. I gotta find that name of that show. I'm gonna put it in the comments when I find it out. But it's a show that, nevertheless, I thought of this particular podcast we were doing. I thought of that show because people make conclusions or guess based on one's appearance and how they're carrying themselves. Now, I know me personally, I've been judged pretty much my whole life. First of all, my swag is very tomboyish. I was trying to find the best way to put that. I've always had a tomboy swag. I've always kind of walked with a diddy bop. It's my comfort. Um, I gravitate towards the guys, hanging out with them and basketball, more of the boy things that is done. In all honesty, it's just stuff that man created as far as what's expected for girls, what's expected for boys. I just had more fun hanging out with the guys and I had more fun doing what they did. Tomboy-ish. So I'd stay, I'd play on the court, play ball. Now, when you look at me now, let's give a little backstory. For those of you who have seen previous lives that we've done, listen to the different podcasts that we've done, I've made it very clear, very known that I do have a relationship with God. One in which I kind of started on my own when I was about 15 years old, and it began maturing a lot more when I was 17, 18 years old. And then when I came out of the church, it kind of like really developed into its own, as opposed to what the church told me to be and not to be, kind of thing. So I tend to get judged because of my appearance. Like I said, I have my tomboy look. And then for those who don't know me, I am covered in tats. My back is tatted, tattoo on the back of my neck. I have tattoos like all over, right? So I've had people who've tried to minister to me or witness to me, but from a standpoint of like I'm a lost soul that don't know God at all. That's where the spirit of discernment comes in. Now, if a person approaches me who claims to hold some type of title in the church or in their walk, I expect some level of discernment. That's me. So, especially if you're claiming a title, you're not telling me you're a baby in Christ, you just met him, you're claiming a title, you're coming, you're trying to minister to me. If you come to me and you begin to minister to me like I don't know God at all, inside I'm laughing. And it's no disrespect to you, but I'm laughing because I know you're coming to me because you're making a judgment based on what you see. And if I was to talk to the people in the church, which is something I like to do, you can't judge a book by its cover. If you don't have the spirit of discernment, don't just step out and start shooting off the top of the dome the way you would to any and everybody. Strike up a conversation. Get to feel this person. Get to see maybe where their headspace is. Ask them, about their walk with God before you just assume. In the world we say something about the word assume. For those of you who know, you know. Those of you who don't, hit me up because I don't want to say it on here. But let's try not to judge people based on, how they look. I had a situation happen with Jay. Jay,
Yes.
Do you remember that time when you and your cousins was doing like filming, creating you guys' own video and stuff?
Yes.
And I was getting ready for work, and I came past the room, and you was sitting down, letting your cousin, your girl cousin, put makeup on your face.
Oh, I do remember that.
Do you remember how that went?
Um, not exactly, but I do remember you like, sort of like no, like I would say you were sort of in shock. Like, what did I walk into? And you were like sort of just immediately like kind of like no, take it off. Um, I mean, because we were doing the filming, um, like I was really like excited because I was like, this is gonna make it look so realistic, kind of thing. And I've always loved filmmaking, so I did feel away like, well, now we can't do it, kind of thing. But I do remember that.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was judging. I was judging hard body. This is my child, my baby boy. Yes, I was feeling away. I walked in. I had my niece was there, my nephew, and my son. There's 2 boys, 1 girl. Why is my son being made up? And then, if anyone who knows my son, he has like a flamboyant way about him. He's he's a boy, but he's not your average boy, like hard and what have you. So sometimes he does have little feminine tendencies. I'm gonna say quote air quotes, right? Feminine tendencies. He likes the sachet. He likes glitter,
I
and
don't like glitter.
he likes things that are glittery. Is that better?
Shiny.
Shiny. Things that sparkle. Is that fair to say?
Things that shine.
Okay. We're gonna stick with the word shine. Hey Don. We're gonna stick to the word shine. So, and then he has a way that he can walk sometimes. We've had him many times sashay, and he'll take any long path that's a bit narrow and turn it into a runway. But he won't walk like that of a dude. He'll walk like, how would you say you walk? Maybe that
Got
of
a little strut going on.
a diva. So when I walked in the room or past the room and I saw my son getting makeup put on him, I freaked out naturally. But I had to look at myself. I had to find out, what my discomfort was. When I went to work that night, I had to reflect on it. The next day I did come home. I did apologize to him for my approach on the matter because at the end of the day, whatever my fears were, I could not project my fears onto him, nor could I have been comfortable with making him feel uncomfortable if that was something that he wanted to do. I was judged growing up. I know how I felt with people telling me I was gay. Strike the fact that I'm married right now to a female. This is my life now. When I was a kid growing up, I felt very uncomfortable, which is probably why I did not walk into my truth until I was in my 30s because of how the world made me feel, how most people made me feel uncomfortable by the way that I looked, by the way that I walked. There was always a judgment, and it wasn't just the judgment of you're gay. It was like it was something wrong with me. They'd talk against or about me as though however I was not okay. So I had to remember that, and I couldn't make my son feel the same way. So I did take him, we went in the back, lay down on the trampoline, had a little talk or what have you, and I can tell that he was handling me. He was trying to not make me feel uncomfortable. So he'd be like, no, mom, I'm just doing it for acting. No, mom. I was like, so, if you were casted for a role and they wanted you to audition to be like a girl or a drag queen, you would do it? And he's like, as long as I look good, because he's low key vain. So I had to check myself on the matter. And then time would go by and he'd start asking for certain things. You ask him what he want for Christmas, he wanted makeup. And I'm like, why do you want makeup, Jay? And he's like, for film. So I'm like, I know he kept handling me. He'd tell me things that he felt like I'd say okay to, as opposed to freak out about. So we got to watch what we do when we're judging and how we're making someone feel. Because at the end of the day, people remember like about 10% of what you say. They're going to remember 100% on how you made them feel. So I had to start looking at myself. I had to start thinking, this world is unsafe as it is. This world is cold. I didn't want my son to feel cold of the world and then also come home and feel cold because he feels like he can't be himself. So I had to start looking at my own self because I did find myself judging my son. Did we grow from that?
We did.
Do I still treat you the same way?
No.
How do I not treat you the same way? Let's let the people know.
Well,
this is an example too. This right here.
Oh, yes. So one example is the nails. While way back, I had asked like if I could paint my nails black or paint my nails gold, and it was always like an uncomfortable kind of feeling.
Excuse me 1 second. I know you say shine. You like things that shine, but the first time you asked to get your nails done, when I was getting my nails done, you asked for glitter. Go ahead, continue.
Well, before it was like weird, like it was like I felt as if you guys were uncomfortable with it because it was always like a no, maybe in the future. And then we finally, like you guys finally agreed. And then I also now I do have makeup in my room. And I do actually, I wouldn't say I use it for film, but it's like, I'm not doing makeup as if a woman's going out somewhere. I'm doing it like to dress up as characters. Like I've done the Grinch in the past. I've tried doing other things. But I don't think there's really, I don't feel that more like awkward, judgy feeling anymore.
Sometimes we gotta just let people be people. Be exactly who they are. So a lot of the times I'm going to say we as the church, right? Because as definition of the Bible, the people are the church, not the building. So the church says, come as you are. Now, some of us or some people within the church like to say that come as you are. Thank you, Yuli. Some of the people in the church like to say, come as you are refers to your heart, come as you are within your heart. Or come as you are, maybe with whatever you're wearing. Come as you are just means just that, are. Thank you. It means just that, right? So one of the things that I learned, right, and I use this as an example because I think it was one of the most, I don't know, like things that like a footprint for me. So I used to go to this church. It was an apostolic church. I didn't know what that meant. I wasn't aware. Hey sis, I wasn't aware that apostolic traditions and Pentecostal traditions. I know the Pentecostal traditions, but I didn't realize they were so parallel, right? So if you walk into a Pentecostal church or an apostolic church, you'll see, unless it's like very modernized, like none of the women are having pants. They'll have a head covering on. They won't have makeup on. They kind of like, I'm going to say plain jeans, right? So it's kind of looked at a little different or sideways when women wear pants. I'm sorry, I was reading someone's comment. Yes. Remember, come as you are means come so we can clean you up. I'm sorry, that was someone's comment. We'll touch base on that. But I was going to this church and I was wearing pants because it was regular for me to wear pants. I had just come from a church, it was non-denomination. And come as you are, legit meant come as you are. You could walk in there any type. I can come in there with some jeans, some Timbs on, a cut up t-shirt. Nobody ever made me feel no type of way. There was never no judgment. Nobody looked at me sideways. Nobody came to me and said, you should change what you got on. So I came from a church where come as you are meant come as you are. No one made me feel away. And then I walked into a apostolic church and I would wear pants. I was comfortable in pants. I was covered up. It wasn't like, I had cleavage all hanging all over the place or what have you. So I didn't see nothing wrong with it. And then someone had brought it to my attention, not in the church, some friend of mine had brought it to my attention that the expectance, what they expect in an apostolic church is women to wear, skirts, dresses, or what have you. And I'm like, really? And she was like, yeah, head coverings and everything. So that's when I noticed, because prior to that, I didn't even notice that that's how all the women looked in the church. I looked around and was like, oh, I am the only one. Oh, I am the only one wearing pants. So I didn't realize it. And no one said anything to me on the matter initially. So I was wearing my pants or what have you. But one of the things I notice is anytime I'm in a relation, we're going to start there. Anytime I'm in a relationship, as my love grows, so does the changes in my life. I begin to try to show the person that I love by my actions, right? So when I developed my relationship with God, the things that I learned through studying the word and praying and, we'll say fasting, praying, and meditating, the things that I found he disliked had a bad taste in my mouth for them. So I was in a apostolic church. I started saying, hey, I wanted to look more like. So it wasn't nobody that came to me and told me to do it. I wanted to do it. So I started buying dresses and stuff, and I'd come to church. And it didn't take nobody saying nothing to me. I did it on my own. But then I noticed when I would flip between dresses and dress pants, I literally had like OG in the church. This is the way I talk. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really not sorry. I had an older woman in the church who came to me and she was like, you look really nice when you wear them dresses. You should wear those more often. So at the time I had pants on, it was like, you look good the other day. So what you're saying? I look some type of way right now because I have on pants? Because I thought the Lord was judging my heart, not my garments. But apparently I was wrong, according to this person that I was speaking to. Again, I was being judged by my appearance. I can walk out here with some t-shirt on and some sweatpants. Like I said, fully tatted up or what have you. And I can stand next to someone who doesn't have not one tattoo, got the first lady big hat on, the dress to go with, and some heels and a Bible in her hand. That doesn't make her any more saved than it makes me. That doesn't mean she's going to be able to minister to someone and help them through something that they've been through any better than I can. And that is me directly speaking to the church. Because people in positions, people in the church period, tend to do that. And we forget about that come as you are. I really would like to challenge each and every one of y'all to chill out with that. Because at the end of the day, if I walked into a hospital fully healed with no issues, no medical issues of any sort, why am I there? What's my purpose? I should be able to walk into a church and you can look at me and you don't see anything wrong. You might see my outer garments, my outer appearance, or what have you. That doesn't mean something's wrong. That doesn't mean that I don't have a relationship. So how do you get to find out what's wrong with me? Dialogue, conversation, see where I am spiritually. Stop judging people by their outer appearance. Go ahead, JJ.
Well, I was gonna say, now, it's up to you, it's your choice, but I feel that it's nobody's business what your relationship is with God. So if, depending, like you were saying, it doesn't matter what you wear, because that doesn't change the fact that you have a relationship with God or what your relationship is. What does that have to do with anything? Because of what I wear.
Well, you gotta ask the church that. I'm not the person judging people by the way they look.
And even
in the church, because I do judge. Everybody judges. I may not judge out loud, but it's human nature to judge.
Right. Even I've told my mom that, I don't know why, but every single time one of my friends have seen her, I'll come back to school or I'll go back and they're just like, "Do you know your mom is so pretty?" Like it's always been compliments.
Nah, go ahead, go ahead.
But did you have anything else to say?
I like the way my look brings the attention that it brings. What do you mean when you say that to Jahar? All right, how he's speaking on his friends, right? So I went on his senior trip with him at his school when he was graduating from elementary school. And there was a young lady there. I'm not going to say her name because that's not my child. Um, and I probably don't even remember how to pronounce her name. But anywho, I had knew just a little bit about the young lady because they call each other like school siblings. So I kind of knew a little bit about her. I had just met her, I think, for the first time on the trip. I went on a trip. I had on some jeans. I can't remember what I was wearing on my feet. It's not important. But my tattoos were showing. This young lady flocked to me immediately. I later learned that even though she's young, you know, a lot of us count our kids out. Oh, they're young, they don't know. I was 10 years old when I realized I was attracted to the same gender. Gender, sex. I'm going to say the same sex. I'm not really sure. Look it up later. I always struggle with the remembering of how that's supposed to be described. Anywho, I was 10 years old when I realized I was attracted to the same sex. And I struggled in life thereafter because the world didn't accept me for who I was. This little girl, to my understanding, has expressed that she was attracted to the same sex. Am I right?
You are.
She had a little girlfriend in school.
She did.
But her mom is a Bible thumper. Some might take offense to that statement. Bible thumper, yes. She's going to throw scriptures at you. She's going to tell you that you're going to hell. She goes to church, hard body, what have you. But this little girl saw me and gravitated towards me. She reminded me of me when I was growing up, and I'd see people with something I can connect to, identify with. The Bible will call it like spirits. See, I be knowing the terms and stuff. I be knowing the terms. But when I seen someone that I can gravitate to, I'd cling on to that person because you feel alone in this world when you don't see people who look like you, or the world makes you feel like, you know, kind of ostracized for being who you are. So I would just smile. I let her flock towards me, you know, I let her talk to me if she wanted to talk or what have you. But anytime she sees me, if I come up to pick him up from school or if I'm field day, whatever the case may be, she's running and grinning. Her mom doesn't look very comfortable when she sees me and my wife, but we don't carry ourselves in any disrespectful way. I treat her like I would treat my son. You know, how you doing, beautiful? I don't call my son beautiful, but I'm just saying, how you doing, sweetheart? Whatever the case may be. You gotta watch how you treat people. Think about it. Like, I know there's some scripture for it. I don't have it paraphrased in my head right now. Dawn, if you're still on here, you can put it down in the comments. But you never know. Like, what if I'm the only example of God that a person will experience? We're not talking about this little girl. I just told you her mother's a Bible thumper. What if I'm the person that I'm the last person you encounter? I'm the last representation that the Lord allows you to see. How should I look? We're not just talking about my physical appearance. How I made you feel. What did I talk to you about? What did I say to you? If the last word you hear is, "Oh my gosh, look what she got on. Do you see what they're doing over there in that corner?" Oh, bro, they can hear you. Guarantee they can hear you. Just because you're whispering don't mean people can't read your body language. My wife and I went on the Disney cruise for our honeymoon. And when I say I have no desire to go on a Disney cruise again, because people literally treated us some type of way. I don't have anything against Caucasians. This is gonna sound real cliche. I got some real good friends that are Caucasian. But there was majority of older Caucasian people. They were looking at us sideways, side eye. They would get out the pool when we got in the pool. They'd stare at us and whisper. Those are the experiences that we had just because we were together. That's crazy.
Mm-mm.
Oh, oh yeah. Wifey said, yeah, we won't go on a Disney cruise again because they don't have a casino. But we were judged just because of our outer appearance. There was another couple on there that also had got married, another other two young ladies, and they said it was like these people walking around here like they're gonna catch gay. You gotta watch how you're making people feel. You might be entertaining an angel. You gotta be mindful how you're making people feel. So yes, it is human nature to judge, and I get that. You know, we could look at people and automatically draw a conclusion based on how somebody look. But if you really don't know this person, you never held a conversation with them, you don't know their story, keep your judgment to yourself. It's not your place. At the end of the day, it's a true story. Only God can judge us. Like, that's the only judgment that matters, in all honesty. Not even, I wouldn't even give much credit to the judges in the court because our justice system is so corrupt. At the end of the day, I don't even value their judgment, you know. Some give fair judgment, some don't. So some give fair judgment, some don't. But if you look inside of our legal system, at the end of the day, you look inside the walls of the jails, you can kind of tell how corrupted it is because the skin colors kind of show you that. So only God can judge us at the end of the day. I was going to say something. You want to talk so I can try to get my thought process back?
Sure. So, you go on. Now you know what I was gonna say.
Oh boy, the characters.
But oh right. So what? That's what I was gonna say. Miss T knows this. I believe you know this. I actually got it from you and learned it from you. To become a straight up person, you can be a straight up person and have respect, which is me. But what I mean by straight up person is I'm not afraid to be who I am and to say things that can show who I am. So, what I mean by that is if you feel a type of way with something that I might have done or said, then depending on what it was, I may give off like a sorry, not sorry kind of attitude because I might not. It's like, sorry for being me. You told me a story. I don't even remember when, it was a while, but way back. And you told me, but this was because you told me, this was just you saying that don't be afraid to ever say anything. Because you told me about a time when you were with this friend of yours, I think they were your friend, and somebody like talking to you guys, and she said that you guys were like best friends, and you said that you guys weren't, and that it made her feel a type of way, and you were just being straight up because you know you're not gonna lie and say something that isn't true for you. I can't remember the story I can't remember the story specifically, but I've always like, especially from you and others, I've always learned that there's no point of, I would say, like they say, be who you are and don't let anybody change that. I don't like it. I don't, you could be my parent and I'm not going to change the fact of who I am for you because it's me. Now, if it's something I do, then I get it. Like something that might deserve a consequence, but if I'm acting feminine, how do you say it? Does that?
That's fine.
If I'm acting feminine or something, and you've got a problem with it, I mean, like I said, sorry for being me.
Almost felt like he was disrespecting me. I was about to go upside his head, but I seen where he was going with it. No, I'm joking. Red Bull gives you wings. That's what I was drinking. So I just want to say something real quick. I usually would say, like, I want to talk to the kids because at the end of the day, the kids is our tomorrow, right? But this actually would be good for everybody, not just the kids. If there's something about you, if there's a part of you that you keep hidden away because of other people's perception and judgment of you, please stop. I know from personal experience, like I said, I knew I was attracted to the same sex from the age of 10. I gravitated towards an aunt of mine who had a wife, and I remember her telling me, like, as soon as I saw them, I came to her, I had 101 questions because it was somebody I could connect with that would understand me. But even though I found comfort in that, there was still so much judgment. I went to a high school where I could have been me. I mean, there was people who came in as girls, left as boys, came in with girlfriends, left with boyfriends. So I could have been me, but there still wasn't enough comfort there. There still was judgment at home. Like, I had a friend who I was super close with. My mother was like, "What is that? Is that your girlfriend?" Now, I love my mother now. No, she doesn't judge me. She loves my wife. But then that statement didn't make me feel good. So for years, I held my feelings inside. I'd go to churches and there'd be people that would come over and they'd be like, "There's a spirit of homosexuality that's trying to attach itself to you." And I'm like, "You don't know my life." Like, I be feeling some type of way. So these things just kept making me feel more and more judged, more and more uncomfortable, more and more, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to hell. Because these are the things that I was told. These are the lessons that's been taught to me. So I kept me to myself. I got married to a dude. I had a baby with him. And I love my oldest son to pieces. Don't question that for a moment. I do. I love all my kids. But I do feel like if I would have lived in my truth and who I felt that I was growing up without the fears of the judgment around me, my life would look nothing like it does right now. I don't have any regrets about my life, but I know it wouldn't look like it does right now because I made a lot of the decisions that I made and I did a lot of things that I did because of others' opinions, because of other people's, judgment on me. So if you have something in you that you keep bottled up, oh, I don't want to do it because, or oh, I'm afraid, please stop. It's easier said than done, but you don't want to spend the years of your life bound to other people's thoughts, other people's perception of you. You got people that take their lives because of things like this. You got people who will drink all the bleach, who will jump off the building, who will take the whole bottle of pills because of the inability to be who they are. So it is definitely my encouragement, if I can, from my own personal opinion, please, from my own personal experience, please be who you are. Don't allow the next person to determine. We come in this world by ourselves. You're going to leave this world by yourself. As Jetty said, don't let nobody else determine who you're going to be. Can't nobody be you better than you. They're going to judge. So what? That's on them.
Let them judge.
Listen, you might be the walking example that next child needs. I didn't know that kids who struggle with being accepted would gravitate towards me because of the comfort that I show within my skin. But they don't know that I once felt like them. We never know who we can influence, who we can encourage, who we can help off the ledge. Be who you are. Jay, you have anything else?
I do. Written some stuff. Believe it or not, there's also good judgment. Now, good judgment. You said, what was it? That when grandma, your mom, said that one thing to you, it made you feel away. Right. Okay. So good judgment can include considering the consequences of one's decisions and thinking before acting or speaking.
That's a good judgment call.
Proverbs chapter 4 verse 5 says, "Get wisdom, develop good judgment. Don't forget my words or turn away from them." Now, the big part that I like in the first definition I gave was when it said think before acting or speaking, is because something negative or disrespectful you may say or can be a form of judging, and that may hurt somebody. And you said that you mentioned about how some people may end it all because of that. And something that we mentioned, I think, in our last live was that because bullying can still be judging, and something that may seem so small can be so big or have a big impact on somebody's life, even when you don't think it, which is why we try to prevent bullying. And people say that, and I believe it's the truth, that it is disrespectful to judge a person in a negative way. Good judgment is as if I was getting ready to say something negative to somebody and I thought about it and I was like, wait, let me not say that. That's being nice. As mommy said before, to keep it to yourself, because why make somebody else feel bad for no reason when they never did anything to you?
Copy that. No, I think we've touched base, on everything that I feel like should be covered. Judging people by their appearance, judging people in church by their appearance, judging people by, you got people who might not have been as educated as the next, and might judge them by the way they talk. I can't stand people like, you sound white. How do I sound like a color? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you guys for tuning into our live. Please like, comment, share the video if it, you think it can help someone else.
And if you go to our YouTube channel, Love's Compassions Ministries, then you can subscribe and put on your post notifications so you know when we post another video.
I love it. He's such a great marketer.
Love's Compassion
Magazine. That's the old one.
Right.
That's why I always only show the Love's Compassion part. Not everybody knows. Thank you for tuning in. We will let you guys know when we start. Thank you, Uncle Rob. We will let you guys know when we start posting these on streaming networks or streaming platforms as far as the podcast go. Right now, we were trying to build up a little bit of content, but we are definitely live on, we're not live, we're on YouTube, as Jetty just said, YouTube Ministries. You can check us out. In the caption for this live is our email. So if you guys have any ideas that you want us, in the description of the live is our email. If you have any topics you want to hear about, you want to have a conversation about, please feel free. You can leave it in the comments. You can send us an email, and we would definitely love to discuss these things with you guys.
Any suggestions as well, we will be free to look at,
what he said. We thank you guys. Have a nice day. Have a nice week, and we will come to you
eventually, because we try every Saturday, but we'll see.
We'll be seeing you guys this weekend. I don't know about eventually. We'll see you this weekend. Talk to you later. Ta-ta.